It is the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month, and we request a moment of silence in remembrance of this day. Good morning, and welcome to the annual Veterans Day ceremony. We are thankful today to have the American Legion Post 133, Maricopa, John Gillerin, Terry Oldfield, Leland Sushler, Jonelle Sullivan, Haven Hall, Tom Kelly, Roberta Height, Terry Stillwell, John Tatum, and Tom Weiss that will present, post, and retire the colors. At this time, please rise and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the playing of the national anthems of the United States and Canada. Two nations, bound by alliance, shared values, and the blood of patriots who stood together in the defense of liberty. Per National Defense Authorization Act 2009, Section 595 Bravo, veterans who are present may render the military salute in the manner provided for individuals in uniform covered or uncovered. Please hold your applause till both anthems are sung, the colors are posted, and American Legion Post 133 departs. All hand salutes are given by Master Chief Tom Kelly of the Color Guard. American Legion Post 133, present the colors.
Forward, march!
Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Color Guard, present, colors, and salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Province Barbershop Singers, Bob Master, Ed DeMaine, Mark Parks, Dave Schwartz, Bob Ames, Bonnie Ames, and Al Carolato, who will perform the national anthems of Canada and the United States of America. Please join in the singing of the anthems for our two countries with the Province Barbershop
Color
Singers.
Guard, hand salute.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far
Post colors. Left face. Forward march.
Please join me in applause for the performance of the Providence Barbershop Singers and Canadian Coaching Choirs of the American Legion Post 133. Please be seated. Good morning again, and thank you for being here to not only honor the veterans who served, but to honor your friends and neighbors here in Providence who have served. My name is Steve Day, and I am privileged to be your MC for this special event. My wife, Sherry, and I have been residents in Providence since 2012. I enlisted in the United States Coast Guard in 1967 and retired in February of 2014. Fellow American and Canadian veterans, ladies and gentlemen, we are here today to honor our veterans and those standing the watch that have and are defending and protecting our United States and Canada at home and overseas. Each of the United States Armed Forces and the Canadian Armed Forces has their core values. Army core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. Navy core values: honor, courage, and commitment. Marine Corps core values: honor, courage, and commitment. Air Force core values: integrity first, service before self, excellence in all we do. Space Force core values: organizational agility, innovation, boldness. Coast Guard core values: honor, respect, and devotion to duty. Canadian core values: duty, loyalty, integrity, courage. With those individual core values, there's a strong sense of pride in the branch that the veteran chose to serve. However, regardless of what branch the veteran chose, the one thing that binds all of us veterans together are the oaths that we recited to wear the uniform representing the United States and Canada. We are here today to honor veterans, to remember their achievements, their courage, and their dedication, and to say thank you for their sacrifices. It is now my privilege and honor to introduce Command Sergeant Major Roman Benavente, U.S. Army retired. He served in the 1st, the 7th, the 24th, and the 25th Infantry Divisions with tours in Europe and Korea. His last tour was at the U.S. Army Finance Command and Defense Finance and Accounting Service, Fort Benjamin, Harrison, Indiana. He served from 1967 to 1997. His rank of Command Sergeant Major is attained by less than 1% of the enlisted corps in the U.S. Army. Please welcome Providence residents since 2006, Command Sergeant Major Roman Benavente.
Upon enlisting in the United States Armed Forces, each person enlisting in the Armed Forces, whether a soldier, sailor, Marine, Airman, Guardian, or Coast Guardsman, takes an oath of enlistment required by the federal statute in United States Code 502. I am confident that I speak for all who have taken the oath that a substantial number would say they are still bound to uphold that oath regardless of years of service in the armed services. Every veteran here today, there was a moment, whether recent or decades ago, when you stood tall, raised your hand, and repeated these words: I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That oath of enlistment was not a formality. It was a commitment, a vow that shaped your service and in many ways your life. Today, as we honor the legacy of veterans, past and present, I invite you to join me in affirming or reaffirming that oath. Therefore, on this Veterans Day, will my fellow veterans please stand? I state your name.
Craig Jackson.
Do solemnly swear
Solemnly swear
or affirm that I will support
or affirm that I will support
and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
And I will obey the orders of the President of the United
The
States
orders of the officers appointed over me,
and the orders of the officers appointed over me,
according to regulations of Uniform Code of Military Justice.
according to regulations of the Uniform Code of American.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You may be seated. There are two tables on the stage. The one to the left represents the POW MIA table. The symbolism of the items on this table are: the table is round to show everlasting concern. The table is white, symbolizing the purity of their motives when answering the call. The single rose reminds us of the lives of these Americans and the loved ones and friends who keep the faith, awaiting answers. The yellow ribbon symbolizes our continued uncertainty, hope for their return, and determination to account for them. A slice of lemon reminds us of the bitter fate, captured or missing in a foreign land. A pinch of salt symbolizing the tears of our missing and their families. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home. The Holy Bible represents the strength gained through faith in our country, founded as one nation under God to sustain those lost from our midst. The inverted glass is to symbolize their inability to share this morning's toast. The empty chair for they are missing, and we need to remember their service and sacrifice. The table to the right of the POW MIA is a battle cross. The symbolism is helmet, rifle, boots, dog tags.
Thank you, Master Chief. Thank you, Command Sergeant Major Roman. Whenever we have a formation in the military, we have a roll call. Part of our ceremonial roll call today will represent the veterans who are present. Command Sergeant Major, call the roll.
As your name is called, please stand and say present. Senior Airman Brian Agner.
Present.
Senior Airman John Gillerin.
Present.
Master Sergeant Dave Bach.
Present.
Staff Sergeant Jack Jackson.
Present.
We will observe the final roll call, a ceremony that reminds us that though these veterans may have completed their route, their service life lives in the legacy that they left behind, as we honor those from our very own province adult community who passed away in 2024 and 2025. Shipmates, friends, patriots. The recognition of our deceased veterans will be the ringing of the bell as their name is called. They are no longer in our formation, but they are never forgotten. Harry Diffenbach, Howard Johns Duncan, John Hersick, Mike Negro, Sharon Lloyd DeFlowson, Bernard Bernie S. Masti, Bob Corrado, Patrick Maurice Spear, Mr. George Zimpelman, Richard Fitzgerald, Tony Rose, William Bruce, Hector Ortega, George Rongier, and Jim Mayhew.
Thank you again, Master Chief and Command Sergeant Major. We feel it's important to always recognize the veterans who used to be present at these ceremonies, and we want to honor them in that way. It's called the final roll call, something that's traditionally done at military funerals, actually. It's one of the ceremonies that we cherish in our military service. So again, thank you, and it's now my pleasure to introduce our first of 3 videos interviewing province residents. Danny Bush.
My name is Danny Bush. I was in the United States Navy. I got out of the Navy in 1987 on a temporary disabled retirement list because I have an injury as a second-class petty officer. I was on 2 aircraft carriers. The first one was the Kitty Hawk, and the second one was the Carl Vinson, which we took on a world cruise. That was fun. You know, you go to all these other ports, you know, and they like, oh, the sailors are here, they want to do this. But when you went to Australia in Perth, they treated you like family. I mean, they were taking you home. You could stay there for a weekend there, you know, if you signed up your name and stuff like that. They take you in the outback area and all, show you how Australia really is. And they had a lot of parades. We were there during the 4th of July, and they did a 4th of July parade for the Carl Vinson, which is really nice. So
Very cool.
At that time, I was working on S3s, which were submarine hunters. And worked on the flight deck, on the engines, which is, you know, that was the most dangerous job in the world at that time, working on the flight deck, because it's constantly, planes are constantly moving around, taxiing, taking off and landing, you know, and then when they're not, you're up there working on the airplanes and you're going through high waves, and sometimes you're going through storms. Being in aviation and you being the ground mechanics and stuff like that, you've got the jet mechanics, or ADs, you got the AEs, which are the electricians, and you got the avionics technicians, which are ATs. And then on different airplanes, the ones that get more into the sophisticated electronics jamming and stuff like that, you got the AQs. So with any of us not being able to do our job, the plane don't go anywhere. As soon as that plane hits the ground, the pilot gets out of it and they hand over a piece of paper saying this is what the problem is. And we do our walk around, we start looking for things, and if we got to change tires, you got to change brakes, if we got to go up inside the cockpit and find out what they broke, or did they throw up on something, you know. It's a constant job every minute. You're up there doing everything you can to get the airplane ready for the next flight. And these aircraft flow 6-7 hours at a time, and they can refuel in air because they drop sonobuoys in the water hunting for the submarines. Well, I wanted to do it because my dad was a CB in World War II, and he told me about all the stuff that he used to watch, and because they used to build runways on islands and stuff like that, showed me old pictures of planes and stuff like that. I want to do that, you know, and ever since I was growing up, I see planes flying over our house all the time, you know, big jumbo jets. And I'm like, I want to do it. He's like, you want to go in the Navy? I said, yeah.
So,
And they teach you a lot. The experience is, it's crazy. You learn so much. You learn about life. You learn how to do your job. You learn how to take care of another person that works next to you, you know, that's doing his job too. And plus you get to travel and have fun. Learn as much as you can while you're in, because they're going to teach you the most. They're going to teach you, you know, it's on-hands job all the time. They're going to teach you how you do this the right way. You know, when you get out and you start working for other companies and stuff like that, things start laxing. They do things differently, but you're in the military's mindset. You're like, no, we do it the right way. We do it the right way the first time, and that's the only way we do it. We don't shortcut. We don't do like that, because if you do, people get killed. So always want to do the job the right way the first time that you're taught. Oh, that was the only thing I always wanted to do. I wanted to be in the military because I wanted to serve my country and learn about airplanes and, being in the Navy. I mean, it's an adventure, but you're also here to protect your country too. And everybody in my dad's side, my stepbrothers, they were in the military. I was in the military. He was. His dad was in the military. It was just a family thing you wanted to do. Somebody's got to do it.
Excellent. Thank you. And now, in tribute to each branch of our armed forces, we proudly recognize the service songs that stir our pride and awaken our memories. Please stand during your service song that will be sung by the Province Chorale under the direction of Anne Bocage.
Praise the trust in thee, who serve the
The first song I ever learned was the caissons go whirling along, so I have a deep history of military service in my family, but served with all the branches throughout my career and really proud of that. And that's great. Thanks again, Ann, and thanks again to the chorale. Outstanding job. Our next province veteran is Rick Lutz, U.S. Marines.
Rick Lutz, L-U-T-Z. I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years. Spent 2 of those years in Vietnam fighting over there. Got out and I'm a civilian ever since.
Very nice. What was your highest rank while you were in the Corps?
Sergeant E5. The Vietnam War was just burning up then, and I knew I was going to be drafted anyway. I'd already passed the test for the Air Force, and a good friend of mine said, let's you and me and Alan join the Marines, they're the best. If you read that, that would certainly be one, but the overall experience was 18, and by the time you get out 4 years later, you're 40 years older, given the experience, the things that you see and do that your friends never would have, difficulties, life-threatening experiences. Is just an amazing set of things that make you think, rethink, not just your life, but life, period. Yeah, again, it was the compilation of all those experiences. So many people that you met and have to get along with, have to help, they help you. Just a life-changing experience. And it would be very difficult, other than, say, the life-threatening experiences made you think about your life and about what life is all about and what you want yours to be. Other than that, just the general experience, the discipline, the expectations people have of you and what you have of them, and all those things change from the time you go in and you're 18 and the time you get out 4 years later. And especially the combat makes life look a whole lot different, a lot easier than it was. Very proud of it, I'd say. Just got lucky that I was pushed into those situations that matured me beyond my years. I would just say absorb as much as you can and make the most of every day. The same kind of experience that you have in life, but it's multiplied 10 times in intensity. And just let them know that's going to happen.
Okay, it's now my pleasure to introduce, we flew him in from Radio City Music Hall. It's our own Rockettes, it's the Town Hall Tappers, under the direction of DJ Gianni, who will be performing 2 songs, the Washington Post March and Oh, When the Saints Go Marching In. The Town Hall Tappers. All right, another big round of applause for those Rockettes. Thank you so much again, Town Hall Tappers. Our next province veteran is Tom Shambo, U.S. Air Force.
I'm Tom Shambo. I served in the United States Air Force. I was, I think, extremely fortunate. I went in the Air Force, grew up with a German Shepherd from the time I was 5 years old all the way until 16. But when I went in, I arrived at my very first base on my first day after basic training, and there was a poster on the wall that said, "Dog handlers requested to volunteer." I said, "Man, I would really love to do that." And the CQ said, "Well, I got a little bad news for you." And I said, "What's that?" He said, "If you do that, you go to Vietnam." Sounds good to me, I'll go. So he called the kennel master in. The kennel master came pick me up, and from the very first day I started working a dog. And when I got out of the service, that's exactly what I was still doing. And fortunately enough, I went to law enforcement, started first K-9 division in law enforcement in South Dakota. Well, I think the important thing about a dog is once you've learned how to read him and you're working in a jungle at night, you can't see your hand in front of your face. I had an alert one night, and I had been on this alert for about 45 minutes. Dogs work with a cone of scent. Depending on how strong the wind is, the cone can be extremely wide or very narrow. And he would pick up the cone, and whoever I was trying to get to, the grass was probably about this high, would avoid us and get out of the scent. So it went out for a long time. Finally called in a strike team to help back me up. And when he hit that alert, he got up on his hind legs and pulled with everything he had. And if you think about a dog, like that dog that was just here, it's a sight on a gun. His ears are up, his nose is pointed directly at the target. All you have to do is lay your gun right across his head, and you're gonna hit whatever's out there in front of you. I hit it 3 times, and the dog saved my life. So I think that's probably my most memorable event. Every time you go out at night, you want to come back in the morning, and everybody who goes to war wants to come home. So, I was a high school kid, graduated, and couldn't find a job. It was draft time. Nobody would hire you until you went in the service. And understanding really all of the opportunities that were available to me in the military, I wished I had known better what I could have done, although I wouldn't have traded a day for what I did do. I think the military service is today the best opportunity for any young person who's looking for a great career. They'll teach you everything you want to know, from cyber technology to firing a weapon, whatever it was. Well, take advantage of all your education. It's all free. You can go in as a ignorant high school kid and come out as a college graduate. You can develop an entire career. For example, my son went in the Army as a helicopter repairman on an Apache helicopter, came out with a degree from Riddle College, and today works for the FAA. So he built his entire career from beginning to end, and he retires in 4 months. It's a development of a large brotherhood and sisterhood. I speak to veterans all over the country. I can call anybody that I served with in my tent, and they'll answer the phone. It really builds a family, and I can't imagine being in the private sector today without that backup that I had back then and still have today.
We now pause to recognize the veterans among us and the many who are no longer with us who served during some of the most defining moments of our nation's history. Please stand when the time you served is announced. To our veterans of World War II who served from 1941 to 1945, the greatest generation, your courage turned the tide of global tyranny. To our veterans of the Korean War, who served from 1950 to 1953, often called the Forgotten War, your sacrifice will never be forgotten here. And your Korean, there we go. To our veterans of the Vietnam War who served from 1964 to 1975, you fought in a time of division, but your loyalty and bravery shine ever bright. Thank you. Now, I hope you notice our World War II vet has gotten up for 3 of them already. And he's going to get up for a 4th one. Because many of us served during this time, but unfortunately the folks that served during this time were not recognized until a few years ago. And I always felt this was really important, and people don't understand the history, and having served in the military so long, I recognize the Cold War and what people gave up for that. So to our veterans of the Cold War who served from 1945 to 1991, those who stood the watch in silence and vigilance, your deterrence kept the peace. Thank you. Now, if my World War II, Korean, Vietnam, and Cold War veteran stands up for this one, then he and I served together. To our veterans of Desert Shield, Desert Storm from 1990 to 1991, you responded swiftly to aggression and upheld international law. Do I have any shipmates? There we go. I got some shipmates out there. And to our veterans of Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and Afghanistan from October of 2001 to June of 2021, your strength defined a new era of service, and your presence brought hope to generations living under fear. To every era of service, you are seen, you are remembered, and you are honored. Please welcome back the Province Chorale under the direction of Anne Bocage, who will perform America the Beautiful. Thank you, Province Corral. Please rise. At the conclusion of the Soldier Stone song, Leland Schussler will play taps, and John Gillerin and Terry Oldfield will play Amazing Grace at the conclusion of taps. And salute. Ready, two. American Legion Post 133, retire the colors.
Forward. March. Retrieve colors. The face. Forward, march.
I would like to thank Command Sergeant Major Roman, the Province Barbershop Singers, the Province Chorale, American Legion Post 133, Brian Anger, and the Town Hall Tappers. Please give them another round of applause. A special thanks to our Lifestyle Director, Michael Wallet, and his team. Please give them a round of applause. Today we remember that freedom is never free. It is earned through blood, sweat, courage, and commitment by men and women like those sitting among us and those we have lost along the way. To all veterans and families, thank you for your service, for your sacrifice, for your oath, and for answering the call, not once, but for a lifetime. We request that all veterans stay at the conclusion of the ceremony for a group picture and a token of appreciation for your service to our country. And thank you to a generous donation of Meritage Homes. So please come to the front of the stage, my fellow veterans. Thank you for attending today. God bless you and your families. God bless your troops. God bless America. And please stay and enjoy refreshments from Four Peaks and Health. Thank you.